All right, mic test, mic test, mic test, mic test. Hi, folks, and welcome here to Hornet Studios. I'm Caleb Rose, joined alongside by Austin Coash, and we're about to get this Valley Center basketball season underway as we'll see the Hornets women's team in play in this Kingman Classic tournament, a tournament they've participated in for quite a long time. And last year they struggled having 3 consecutive losses in this tournament, but they have new strength on this team, new young strength, and a lot of good seniors also as well. So they're looking pretty strong this year, and I'm interested to see how they'll do. Their matchup is the Conway Springs Cardinals, and they're 0-2 right now. They lost pretty badly to Cheney, and then they lost to Sterling 2 nights ago by 20. And so the Hornets have a good shot here to win this game. Austin, your sister's on the team. I know you know quite a bit about this team, so what can you tell us about this team this year?
You know, we saw it in the winter warm-up. This team is going to be high-intensity defense. They're really going to pride themselves in defense this year. Leading that will be Kylie Dawson, a senior. We saw her last year. She got a lot of steals. A big part of this year, though, is to take that defense and put it into points on the transition and finish layups, get and ones. And then another one is Cassie Kinnenberg, number 31, inside. She's going to be big for the Hornets offensively and defensively, as she's a big threat inside with her offensive scoring and her rebounding. We're going to take a break for the national anthem.
And we're back here. We're just a couple minutes away from start, and here's the starting lineups for the Hornets. Starting it off here is number 3, Riley Ranzow, and we saw her last year as a guard, and starting as a senior this year. Really good passer. She really is great at seeing the floor and finding the open man. And then for the Cardinals, it's going to be number 11, Lauren May, a sophomore. Next up, as you were talking about, Austin, the defensive stud, that's Kylie Dawson, number 4. Next up, number 12, Lizzie Curry for the Conway Springs Cardinals. And here's sophomore number 10, Hallie Britton. We saw some minutes out of her last year, and she's looking ready to go for this season. And next up, number 15, that's Kara Coaster. And fourth on this roster, number 14, that's Abby Wolf, a senior. And fourth for the Cardinals, number 24, Madison Pauley. And to round off this lineup, at 6 foot, number 31, Cassie Kinnenberg. And you talked about her play in the post, and that is going to be influential on this team this year. And to round it off for the Conway Springs Cardinals, number 34, Tori Coons. And that's going to round off each of these rosters. looks to be a good game here. And one of the things that I've heard the guys team talk about a lot, but especially with the girls team as well, they have yet to play a game this year, and that's huge. Starting off in a tournament and not playing a game yet, they've had to be really disciplined these past couple days, have their mindset right, because they are starting so late. They are one of the last teams in their league to play their first game, and that's going to be huge. They're going to have to play very disciplined here and be prepared on the court, because they haven't seen the game speed quite yet, so they've had to simulate that in practice, and we'll see how it pays off.
Yeah, and like you said, Conway Springs has already played 2 games. They've lost 2, and so they're really hungry for a win themselves. All right, Conway Springs is going to get the ball first. They're going to move the ball around the court. Number 15, Coaster. She was a big factor in Conway Springs' win over the Hornets last year, and it looks like they're already going to a double team on her, as Kinnenberg and Dawson were both on her underneath the basket. It was out of bounds. Possession stays with the Cardinals. That'll be foul called on the Hornets. Number 15, Coaster, going to the line, shooting 2.
And Dawson grabbed that foul there, and she is a really good defender, but that's part of playing aggressive as a defender. Is you have to watch out for those fouls. They will come back and haunt you later in the game. First shot is no good. Second one's up, and it's through. So it starts off your scoring with a 1-0 deficit here for the Hornets, and they'll start off early. They're backcourt pressed. Hallie Britton takes off, looks across the lane, and turnover there.
One thing we talked about at the winter warm-up, the Hornets have to control the turnovers this year. Last year, the turnovers for the Hornets was a big factor in most of their games. So, as I was talking about turnovers, the Cardinals made their own turnover. Ball stays with the Hornets. That's Dawson driving in. Floater pass to Kinnenberg, but she couldn't handle it. Coming back down the way is May. Good pressure by the Hornets. They're playing a help man defense. That's good to see. And that creates a turnover. And it'll be 14, Wolf. Wolf is a special player for the Hornets. She's a senior. And she got a lot of minutes last year, but this year she's really perfected her shot, her three-point shooting. And that's Dawson driving into the lane. Her shot gets blocked. And Hornets still trying to find their first points. Minute 15 into this ball game. Shot was blocked by Kinnenberg, out of bounds. Possession stays with Conway Springs. 24, Pauly passes in. Ball stolen by Dawson. There's that defense. And Britton will push it up the floor. That's a 3 by Wolf. Right as I talked about it, Wolf hits a 3 for the Hornets. She's going to be big offensively for this game.
I think you talked about one of the biggest part is the defense, and I think if the Hornets are able to set the tone early defensively, that offense will come. They forced a turnover there, and then that opened up in transition, and that pass probably wouldn't have been there had it not been in transition. So setting the defensive tone early is what's going to create offensive opportunities for this team.
The Hornets break the press again. And Wolf shoots another 3 off the mark, but out of bounds off the hands of Lizzie Curry. Ranzow gets it into Kinnenberg. Kinnenberg no good on the turnaround layup. And out of bounds off of her knee. So you can really see the Hornets already trying to get it into Kinnenberg, as we saw how much of a threat she was last year. little bit of pressure from the Hornets full court and tipped around, but the ball ends up in May's hands. Good pass off, and that was number 34, Coons, who made that shot. The Hornets doing a good job of breaking this Cardinal press. Heard my sister talk about it all week long that, you know, that the Cardinals are going to press. They're going to try to play faster than you, and the Hornets have done a good job so far handling that pressure. That's a sub. Number 20, Olivia Needens, comes in for Hallie Britton, the sophomore. And the Hornets press gets broken by the Cardinals. Underneath, Coons, no good. That's Coaster with the rebound, and a foul called on Olivia Needens right as she checks in. Inside, Coaster goes up. Great defense by Wolf to keep her hands straight up. Ball goes out of bounds, stays with the Cardinals.
And I think we've talked about this defensive prowess, but we're about 3 minutes in, and the Hornets already have 4 fouls, and that's going to be tough if they want to play aggressive, but they want to keep the foul count down, and that might be a big factor here in today's game.
And you talk about, you know, fouls, getting players in foul trouble. On the bench right now, there's 3 freshmen, one of them in which is Allie Coash, and so not a lot of experience on the bench for these Hornets. And they do have 5 seniors on the team, so can't get those seniors in foul trouble. Hornets moving the ball around the arc. Dawson's going to dribble, drive out, 3-pointer from Needens. And Olivia Needens hits a 3. That's the second 3 of the day for the Hornets. The only 2 baskets scored for the Hornets. And a foul by Meyer underneath the own basket. The press caught up to him right there as the Cardinals were able to break it, throw a full court pass, and that is Coons who made the bucket, and she'll get a free throw, try to tie the ball game up. Rebounded by Needens. Dangerous pass. Needens keeps it. And Kanissa just fumbles the ball a little bit, but the Hornets retain possession.
And what I'm seeing here from this offense, I think they're trying to go back to the fundamentals of basketball. Coach Priam himself said this is a rebuilding year, and they want to go back to the fundamentals, because when you play fundamental basketball, you can win basketball games, and that's what they're trying to do here. They're trying to slow down the offense, then they're trying to get simple passes, find open shots, and get good quality drives.
And that was Wolf who had an open shot, but she missed it. But the thing I like to see about that is Wolf not only ran in to try to get her own rebound, but all 4 other players went down there and boxed out and got the rebound. Ranzow missed on the finish, but, you know, that's just great basketball, fundamental basketball from the Hornets. So number 5, the freshman Allie Coash, checks in for the Hornets. And for the Cardinals, number 23, Carly Osner. Just under 3.5 minutes to play. Hornets set up their offense. Coash for 3, air ball. And out of bounds. Ball goes to the Cardinals. Hornets will keep their press on. Good hands by Coash. And a triple team. And that's what can happen if the press gets broken. Great job by Conway Springs, but the Hornets have to be able to notice and get back on defense if they cross the half-court line.
And as a postman, that's something you're taught. Stay under the basket because it's a lot harder to manage you when you're under the basket. You can more easily sneak around the defenders, and Pauly did just that there and got 2 points.
Inside, Kanissa loses it off the knee of Koash, and Mays brings it down for the Cardinals. So the Hornets still playing pretty good defense. They just got to get their offense involved. Only hit 2 shots so far. Both of those have been threes. That was a foul called on Lauren Mays. And that was Kinnenberg who checked in for Meyer. Hornets moving the ball around. Inside, that was Britton who got the ball stolen as she tried to pass it back out. That's Coaster bringing it down. And Hornets get back on defense and get the rebound. Great box out right there from number 10, Britton. That's what you like to see, is just the fundamental basketball. After this team last year, I believe they only had 2 wins on the entire season. So you could tell Coach Preheim really wanted to go back to the fundamentals of basketball and make things a little bit simpler. And looks like so far on the defensive end, that's been good. Koash tried to get the ball into Kinnenberg, but it went out of bounds.
And I know I've said it, I know you've said it, and they're just trying to get back to the fundamentals of basketball. Four guys out wide, and then we see Kinnenberg in the middle, and Kinnenberg at 6 foot. She's just a force in the paint, and that's huge that they are able to spread those guards out like that and still have quite the game in the paint.
Good defense. Koash almost gets the ball stolen. She's going to push it up the floor. 1-on-5, and she'll get fouled. A little bit of confidence there from the freshman.
After the block, the first shot is up and through, ties our ball game up at 7. Second shot is up and off the rim, and then Conway Springs grabs the board, so they'll take over on offense.
I really enjoy watching this defense from the Hornets, as there's always moving parts, and they're making it tough on all the Conway Springs players. That was Mays open for 3, no good, but didn't get a body on Coaster, and she'll extend the 2-point lead for the Cardinals. Kinnenberg on the inside. Looks like there is a lot of contact underneath there, but the Cardinals will come away with it. .20 seconds left. That's Coaster, long-range jumper. I mentioned the Hornets have to stop her. She already has, I believe, 5 points. You know, the Hornets just trying to get it into Kinnenberg, but got to be careful with it, as their teams are going to recognize that they're just trying to get it to her, and there are going to be times when you just can't get it to her off the bat, and you have to do a dribble drive offense and stuff like that. That's the end of the first period. 11-7 our score. Your Hornets down by 4. Caleb, what did you see in that first quarter?
I think I saw a lot of good things from this Hornets offense. They got the season started out maybe not the ideal way they wanted to, but I saw some good things, and they set the tone defensively. And sure, they did let up a few shots, but they forced turnovers. The only thing offensively, like you said, they're trying to get it to Kinenberg every single time, and that's got to be tough. We're gonna expect them to see this spread the floor a little bit more here in the second quarter. And they did hit 2 threes, which is really huge because they've been shooting pretty well. I think 50% from the three-point arc, and so that's huge to see. But I think they have a few things they need to change strategically in the second quarter, but overall they're playing pretty well.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. I think, the Hornets, I think one of the big things for them for this second quarter is to start getting moving parts on offense. They're just kind of moving the ball around the arc and then trying to get it inside. I'd like to see what Kylie Dawson did a couple times in that first half, and that's, a dribble drive, then pass out and take care of the ball. That's another thing, is if they do that, they got to be able to take care of the ball. So starting the second quarter for the Hornets is Kylie Dawson, Olivia Needens, Hallie Britton, Allie Koash, and Kanissa Meyer. Here's those moving parts. You see a couple of back cuts, and Hornets moving the ball well. There's Dawson underneath. The ball gets tipped, thrown away. Good defense, but there will be a foul called as Koster tried to bring it up the floor. Good play by her. That'll be called on Meyer. That's her second personal. That's Kuster at the line. Makes her first. Hornets already have committed 7 fouls, putting the Cardinals in the bonus. And Kuster is 3 for 4 from the line already. Hornets down by 6. Trying to make something happen on offense. Koash gets the ball poked away. Mays with a good play. That's Koash for 3. That's one thing Koash can do. That's why she earned a varsity jersey. She told me is she's been working on her threes. 13-10 our score.
And that's one of those things you're talking about. Hornets trying to get the ball into Kinenberg quite often. And so when they have the ability to shoot threes, when they have the ability to put it through the net from the three-point arc, that can be huge because it spreads the floor more if you have dangerous shooters around the arc and then a powerful player in the post.
Well, yeah, and the only field goals the Hornets have made have been threes, and then there was one free throw that Koash made. So subbing in for the Cardinals is number 12, Curry. No good on the free throw. Kuster goes up with it, and that'll be a jump ball. Excuse me, I think they called it a travel almost. And it'll be Hornet ball. Britton bringing it up for Valley Center. And over the backcourt violation, by the Hornets, and that was Ranzow, who checked in for Dawson. Good ball pressure from the Hornets. And that's Curry underneath, no good on the layup. Pushing the ball is Ranzow. That's Wolf, no good on the three. Good rebound by Ranzow. Second champ's points are going to be a big for the Hornets this year, as last year they really struggled to get their own rebounds off shots. Cross-court pass by Wolf. A lot of passing going on, not a lot of dribbling for the Hornets, but you know, if they don't turn the ball over, it could work. Wolf no good on the shot, tipped around, and Curry comes up with it for the Cardinals. Mismatch inside, and Kuster goes up, gets the two-point basket. Hornets deficit is 5. Checking in is number 22, Kinsey Winke. One thing I talked about is Kuster. She tore us apart last year, and she's doing a pretty good job this year of scoring underneath. The Hornets have to be able to control her. She already has 9 out of the 15 points. And one way to do it was get her in foul trouble, as the Hornets just caused her first foul of the game so far. Some light pressure from the Hornets. And it cost the Cardinals a turnover. Good job by the Hornets to get some pressure underneath the basket, and they didn't do what they did earlier in the game, is let them get an open for layup.
And I think when there's a half-court press, oftentimes as an offense you can turn that into a fast break type play, but when it doesn't work out, you can't still rely on that fast break play. That's what the Cardinals did there. They didn't reset up the offense when that defense came back down. They still continued to try and get that fast break points, and that's why it didn't work out.
34 Coons checked back in. And Britton couldn't handle the pass. Ball goes out of bounds. Another turnover for the Hornets. And that'll be Needens checking in for Coash. Good denial from Needens on Kuster right there. And good help defense from Needens again. That's going to be a key factor for Needens this year, is her, not only her offensive ability to make threes like she did earlier, is going to be her defense. Hornets moving the ball around. That's Britton for 3. Good. Hornets have hit 4 threes on the night. The only field goals they've made, they haven't made a 2-pointer yet. And that'll be a timeout. Timeout called by the Cardinals as Britton hits the 4th 3 of the night. That's good to see, as that was Kinnenberg who's checking in for the Hornets.
And definitely talked about 4 threes, and that's huge. That's 12 of the 13 points that the Hornets have tonight. And when you can spread the floor like that, that's great to see. And if the Hornets can hit from the three-point line like they have all night, if they can keep this up and they can cause defensive turnovers, they have a good shot at winning this game, even though they're down by 2 right now. If they can keep up shooting well from the three-point line and playing well defensively, mainly keeping those fouls down, but also forcing turnovers like they've done most of the game, it's definitely a winnable game.
Well, with a team that can hit threes, you can never count them out, no matter how late in the game it gets. But right now, the Hornets are in a good contest with Conway Spriggs. And that was a walk by May. She traveled, going to the Hornets. As I mentioned earlier at the start of the second quarter, I said that the Hornets have to start getting moving parts on offense, and they've done that, and that's why they're being able to hit these open threes. Inside Kinnenberg. Hornets moving the ball. Wolf, no good on the 3. And rebounded by Kinnenberg, and they're going to have a foul called on the Cardinals. Kinnenberg with great box-out form right there to be able to draw that foul. Underneath their own basket, Ranzau into Needens. Inside Kinnenberg, she'll be fouled again as the Cardinals really just almost trying to deny her inside. Don't want the ball to get to Kinnenberg on the inside because they know how much of a threat she is. The Hornets are finding ways to hit her on the inside. She'll be going to the line, shooting a 1-and-1 for the Hornets.
First shot is up and through. You talked about it, Austin. They're trying to deny her inside, and when you see a threat defensively, you're going to put your best man on that offender. Which guarding her tightly is exactly what Conway Springs has had to do. She misses the second free throw. Conway Springs losing handles on it. Now set up the offense from around the three-point arc.
Moving the ball around are the Cardinals. Hornets still playing that good man defense, help man defense, Kinnenberg, great block right there. Pushing the floor is Ranzau. Going to go up with her left hand off the mark, but rebounded by Kinnenberg. Out for 3 is Britton. High arcing shot, no good. That could have been a momentum shifter for the Hornets if she would have hit that 3. And it looks like they're going to have that tipped out of bounds off the Cardinals, as Preheim was not going to be happy with that call. And it'll stay with the Hornets underneath their own basket.
And I think the Hornets got really lucky on that turnover there, that block that Kinnenberg forced. And I think the fact that she just kept her hands straight up at a 90-degree angle, that was huge in the ref's point of view of not calling a foul rather than calling a foul. And so just that little thing right there caused a turnover and possibly tying the game or taking the lead here in this possession.
I just heard Coach Unruh from the bench yell out solid passes or go to the passes, and I was just thinking that in my head. The Hornets, they have to be going to the ball when they pass the ball, and that's one of the things that causes turnovers. Is if you're not going towards the ball when it's passed to you. So that's one thing the Hornets need to do a little bit better. That's Kuster at the line, as there was a foul called on Kinnenberg. That's her 3rd personal in the first half.
Kuster's shot is no good. She'll dive for a rebound and called in favor of the Hornets. And you talked about Cassie Kinnenberg's 3rd foul. That's got to be huge, not only as a senior but as a focal point of this offense. She's gonna have to play. She's gonna have to play much less aggressive in the second half. And though she wants to play really good defense, she can't foul out in the second half because that would be a tough break for the Hornets.
And that's why I said Maya right there almost ran away from the ball thinking the ball was going to come to her, and it got stolen. So just little things can, make up a game. This is Coons, and Coash will check in for Meyer. Coons missed her first free throw off the back of the rim. And misses her second. 1 point game for the Hornets as the Hornets push the ball up the floor. A lot of passing going on. That's Rands out for three. Off the back of the rim, fought for by Needens, but it'll be out of bounds. Ball for Conway Springs. 49.3 seconds left in this first half. Hornets going to put on the pressure. Great defense by Britton right there. And Kuster's going to take a jumper of her own. She has 11 of the 17 points. .20 seconds left. Wolf for three. Good. Also to mention, it's Abby Wolf's 18th birthday, and she's hit 2 threes. And that's a layup. Ryan Zhao going to take a half-court shot off the mark. So the end of the first half, 19-17. A lot of good things you saw from this Hornet team. What's one thing they need to fix before this second half?
I think I like the fact that they're passing all over the floor, but I think just a little bit more offensive movement with a ball handler. I think driving or passing and cutting, those can be two huge things that can completely change the course of the game. So I think just a little bit more ball handler movement, and if we can see that, then that can change the course of this game. They're only down by a bucket, so this is definitely a winnable game, and they've shown defensive force, which is great to see. They have a lot of potential here in the second half. That's going to be all for the first half from Hornet Studios. I'm Caleb Rose, and joined alongside by Austin Coash. We'll see you back here in about 10 minutes for the start. Hi, folks, and welcome back here to Hornet Studios. We're about to get the second half of women's basketball underplay, and your score.
2 games, they've lost 2. That's a 3. Hornets moving the ball around the arc. Dawson's gonna dribble, drive out, 3-pointer from Needens.
After the block, the first shot is up, and
Side passing around the arc, getting the open threes, and then one thing they tried to do, not too much, but it kind of got Cassie into a little bit of trouble underneath the bucket, was they tried to pass it in without dribbling. As you mentioned at the end of the first half, the Hornets have to be able to put the ball on the floor, drive, and then kick out or get it in underneath the Cassie Kinnenberg. She does have 3 fouls, but she's gonna be a big factor later on in this game, as the Hornets need to put more points on the inside the arc. They need to put more points on the board.
And definitely, and I saw Kylie Dawson try to do this a couple times in the first half. Good shot there from Olivia Needens, their first points from inside the paint. But I saw Kylie Dawson try to do this a couple times, drive and then kick out. And the possessions that she did do that, they ended up pretty well and ended up getting scores for the Hornets. So that's big to see, and definitely something they'll go back to a lot more in the second half.
And as you were talking, that was exactly what the Hornets need to start doing. It was with Olivia Needens on the inside, but they drove in and then dump off past the Needens, and she made the layup, tying it up at 19. And also to mention right there was great defense from Dawson up top. That'll be a foul called on Ranzow. That's her second personal.
Well, I think I saw something on that last possession. You see number 34, that's Tori Coons, and against Riley Ranzow, and that's definitely a mismatch. The Cardinals tried to play off of that. They tried to screen there, and that was really good defense, really good communication between Ranzow and Needens, as Ranzow understood their goal was to get Ranzow and Needens and get a mismatch there.
Hornets trying to set up an offense. I think it was a set play to Wolf. She hit 2 threes in that first half. There's Dawson driving in. No good on the layup. A lot of contact inside. But that's what you want to see. Out for 3 is Britton. No good. Rebounded by Mays of the Cardinals. Down inside is Coons. Coons will get the fast break layup. One thing to note talking about is Coons and Kuster for the Cardinals. They both have most of the points for the Conway Spring, and the Hornets have to be able to control them just on the inside, and most of their points are coming from the paint. They haven't hit many threes. That's Kylie Dawson for 3. Hornets get the first lead since, I believe, the first quarter, 22-21. Light pressure as Mays breaks the pressure, takes it down inside, and it'll be a foul called on Abby Wolf. That's her first personal. That's Coons going to the line.
Coons' first shot is up, and it's short. You talked about both Coons and Kuster, and they've combined for 19 of the 21 points that Conway Springs has on the board here. Only one other player scoring, and that is Madison Pauley, who was the other player who scored, and just now making that free throw was Coons. So it makes it 22-22.
Kinnenberg will check in for the Hornets. She has 3 fouls. Expect her to play a little bit not as aggressive. Good ball movement by the Hornets. Got it inside, around the arc. Britton for three. He hits another three. That's 6 threes on the night. Correct me if I'm wrong, Caleb, but that's 7 threes on the night. I mean, that's great movement to get those shots from the Hornets. 25-22 the score. And that'll be a foul called on Kinnenberg. That's her 4th personal with 4:29 left in the third. She's going to head to the bench probably for quite some time. And Needens comes in. Kinnenberg not having the season debut that she wanted after a great season last year. But expect that to change in future games, of course. Good ball pressure from the Hornets. That's Coons. Pump fake, no good on the shot. Kuster with the rebound. She'll go up with it, and it'll bounce in. So Kuster adding to her resume for tonight as she has 13 points. Inside, that'll be a travel called on Ranzow. Checking in for Valley Center will be number 5, Allie Koash.
Well, I find it really interesting, the strategy that the Hornets have. We're playing Riley Ranzow in the high post right now, and I saw it made sense with Kinnenberg, and it makes sense with Needens as well. They understand that we're directly trying to get the ball to the post guys, but it's not working, so we're sending Ranzow in there, and she's catching pass, driving around, and then trying to get a backside play, get a pass over to the other side and get those postmen some points.
As you said, she get those postmen the points, get the postman the ball, as Ranzow very good, and usually point guards are very good at finding the big man on the inside, and this is just a shorter pass for them to make. It'll be a foul called on Kylie Dawson. And it'll be a timeout called by Coach Preheim and the Hornets. He wants to talk things over with his team. We'll be back in 30 seconds. Coming back after that timeout, it'll be Cardinal ball underneath their own basket. Good denial from Dawson to try to get it away from Kuster. Ball is tipped out of bounds. Great defense, great hands from Ranzow, but it'll stay with the Cardinals underneath their own basket. Cross-court pass to Mays. And Kuster, an open three. Dawson lost her. That's one thing you can't have if you're the Hornets, as she now has 16 points on the night. Dawson out for three. No good on the shot. And it'll be a jump ball. Needens with the great play underneath the basket to get a rebound, but possession arrow goes to the Cardinals. That is number 11, Kanissa Meyer, checking in for Dawson.
And that's just basic basketball there from Conway Springs. A good board by Needens, but they knew that the possession error was in their favor, and they forced a jump ball and got possession right back.
One thing I want to talk about for the Hornets is they had a multitude of fouls in the first half, and then 4 already in the second half. And we talked about Kinnenberg being out for a while now because she's gotten in foul trouble. Dawson has a couple fouls herself, and so that's one thing going throughout the season. The Hornets have to start playing better defense, and not less intense defense, but just has to be a little bit more careful with the fouls they pick and choose. Inside to Needens, strong in the paint, but the ball was up, no good on the shot. 1:45 left in this third quarter. Kuster inside, gets it to go. Now a 4-point lead. Kuster is unstoppable right now, and the Hornets have to figure out a way to stop them if they want to win this game.
Well, that play right there from Conway Springs was just a basic pick and roll. That's all Kuster did, set a good pick and then cut towards the basket, and she got open pretty well. That was a very good screen, and it took up almost 2 defenders on that screen, and a really good setup play there by Conway Springs to get them 2.
So Britton checked in for the Hornets, and Ranzow will toss it in to Needens. Set play for Ranzow for 3, no good, off the mark, rebounded by Mays, and it looked like she almost carried it. And then she'll double dribble. Good pressure right there from Coash on the transition.
That's something about a good defense. Sure, they can force turnovers, but one of those other things is getting in the offense's head. If you can get in their head, if you can play tight defense on them, even if they're not tightly guarded or you aren't able to force a turnover, just that pressure just getting in their head can force them to cause their own turnovers.
And the Hornets turn it over, but the Cardinals give it right back as she traveled. Number 34, Coons, checks back in. She's the only other one that has scored, besides I believe there was one more player for the Cardinals, but it's kind of been the Kuster and Coons show tonight. Hornets running an offense. Not as many moving parts as we'd like to see, but they're doing good with the passing. That's Britton, no good for 3 as Kuzner got up in her face. Freeheim not too happy with that offensive possession as they had multiple choices or chances to take a drive and dribble, but they just didn't, like we talked about. And a 3 from Kuzner. That extends the Conway Springs lead. Britton, no good for 3. To in the third quarter, 32-25. We've talked about this in the past, and this really goes to show with this third quarter is the Hornets have to be able to put 4 quarters of ball together. Now, they're not out of this game by any means at all, especially with how many threes they've hit on the night. But that's one of the things this Hornets team needs to start, embodying is playing 4 quarters of hard basketball. That third quarter, they let up a little bit. This fourth quarter, they really have to start knocking down some shots, playing good defense, stopping Coons and Kuster, and, to try to regain this lead, make it a closer game, or, really just outscore this team in the fourth quarter by a lot. Caleb, what do you have?
Well, I think I like the ball movement a lot more in that second half. They didn't hit as many shots, but they were moving the ball. They were setting up an offense, and I think that will come to pay off in the fourth quarter because they set up that offense in the third quarter. And you said they slowed down a little bit, and that's for sure, but they did set up the offense, and I hope to see a lot more shots hit because they hit a lot of shots in the first half, and if they can hit shots like they did in the first half, this can be a really good fourth quarter for the Hornets. But then defensively, it's going to be completely 100% stopping Kuster. She scored 21 of the 32 points so far in this game, and that's crazy, and the Hornets need to find some way, any way, to shut her down.
and she had 10 points in that third quarter. She went into halftime with 11, and so she had 10 points, and that was really her breakout quarter. The Hornets have to be able to control it now, and hopefully, if they can control it, they can regain the lead. So a couple of dribbles right there, but not very productive dribbles for the Hornets. Inside, Needens got it out to Kanissa Meyer. And there'll be a 3-second violation. So the Hornets moving the ball well, taking a lot of time on offense. Not very productive when they dribble. That just, comes with experience, and later on in the season that'll change, but the Hornets really need to pick up a win tonight, get the season going off right, because they only had 2 all of last year. Inside, no good on the shot. Battle for the rebound, and it's going the other way. Needens with the good box out on the Cardinals. That's Coons' second personal.
I think you talked about productivity on that last possession, and it didn't produce much. It didn't produce many scoring opportunities, but I think the Hornets saw that they were down offensively in the third quarter. I think that was a possession, and maybe the next couple possessions, they're just trying to set up their offense. They're trying to set their own tone and not let the Cardinals control this game. They're trying to set up the offense like they want, and they want to set the tone in this game.
One thing to commend the Cardinals on is they haven't let the Hornets get, I don't think, any fast break points this game. If not, maybe a few, but that's Kuzner inside. Don't even know how she got that in, but she did. 34-25, our score. That's Coash underneath. Draws the foul on Curry, and that's only the third personal foul, or not third personal, but third team foul for the Cardinals. In for the Hornets is number 31, Kinnenberg, who has 4 fouls. Number 4, Dawson, and number 14, Wolf, all checking in for Valley Center. Inside, Kinnenberg, good with the left-hander, and that's maybe that boost that the Hornets needed, as game is far from over with 6 minutes left. Dawson playing great defense on Kuster, and Coons no good on the layup. Good defensive stand. Hornets got lucky. Pushing the ball is Ranzow. In the corner for 3, Abby Wolf. 30-34. She's hit 3 threes on the night on her 18th birthday. That'll be a timeout called by the Hornets. We'll be back in a minute.
And we're back here at Hornet Studios. 5:37 remains here in this fourth quarter, and the Hornets trail by 4 points to the Conway Springs Cardinals. What a game it's been. I talked about this early in the fourth quarter. They were trying to slow down the pace, and I think that last possession that Abby Wolf just made that 3, they sped down the court, and they're starting to set their own pace. I think the Cardinals are going to – I think they've been sitting on their heels quite a bit, and they've been expecting the same thing on offense, but now the Hornets are changing up the pace. They're changing up their playbook, and I think it's really catching the Cardinals off guard. And we'll see how the Hornets play it out here after this timeout.
So that same lineup, the starting lineup, is out there for the Hornets. We got 4 seniors and one sophomore. Light pressure from the Hornets. Preheim did not like what he was seeing and looked like a travel, but they don't call it. So the Hornets still playing with that fast pace right now and making the Cardinals a little bit uncomfortable. It's inside Coons, no good. Good rebounded by Kinnenberg underneath. Ranzow bringing it up the floor. Out to Wolf. Wolf for three. Another three on the night by Abby Wolf. That's 4 threes. 33-34. Brings it within one is Abby Wolf. What a game she's had. She almost got a steal right there. That's Kuster up top. Good off-the-ball defense from Wolf. And great defense by Dawson. Ball goes up. That's Ranzow on the drive. She'll be blocked by Kuster, though. But there's the transition offense the Hornets need to start having. Dawson underneath, gets the layup, brings it the lead to 1 for the Hornets. A timeout called by the Cardinals. What a turn of events right there from the Hornets. That you said it, they're playing at their own pace. That's really helping these girls get some points on the board. They're having that press. That press is working. Dawson just got the steal. That was the first transition bucket, I believe, that the Hornets have scored all night. Abby Wolf has caught fire from 3. What do the Hornets need to keep doing defensively as they're stopping Kuster? What do they need to keep doing, Caleb?
Just playing with high intensity. They're playing everything they're doing it at 110%. And I really like the strategy there from Coach Freeheim. They showed them something after the timeout. They called a timeout and then went into the half-court press. While the Cardinals were talking about their strategy from what they had seen in the past, then the Hornets switched up to a half-court press, and I really think that caught the Cardinals off guard. So really just switching it up was a huge thing. Switching it up offensively is what caused them to have the lead here at 35-34, and then switching up defensively caused that turn of events, caused those forced turnovers. That's really huge. They're keeping the Cardinals on their toes at all times, because I think for a while the Cardinals defensively and offensively were kind of on their heels, just doing the same thing every single possession. So I think just mixing it up and playing with high intensity every possession.
Well, the Hornets are going to keep their press on as Kuster will set the inbound. Gets it to Curry. Some good defense, and Kuster barely gets it across in time. And Mays will slow things down for Conway Springs. Inside, Kuster. No good. Rebounded. Battled for, but out of bounds off the hands of Kinnenberg.
That was really good defense there by Kinnenberg. She understood that she did want to double Kuster because of the high-powered scorer she is, but she didn't force anything. She let Kuster back herself into the double team and did just that, forced a tough shot and a miss.
And smart play because she does have 4 fouls. Kuster with the bucket right there. Going back and forth are these two teams. I was really like to see the Hornets hit a couple shots and pull away with it. Hornets just playing around with the ball at the top of the key. Looks like Kinnenberg may have been open for a second there, and then pass was a little late. Kinnenberg off the hands, and a turnover for the Hornets. Every possession is valuable for the Hornets right now, as it's a one-possession game, 1-point game. Down inside, Curry gets it to Coons. She'll miss on the shot, but she'll be going to the line, shooting 2 for Conway Springs.
Sorry. And Cassie Kindenberg fouls out there. She had 3 points on the night. Definitely not the debut she wanted to see, but we'll definitely see a lot more from her in the games to come. And first shot is no good there. And I think that's something with the Hornets being one of the last teams to play their first game of the season. There's so much build up to this, and you want to play so aggressive in this game. And the second shot is no good there. But you want to play so aggressive in this game, and then when you get into it, you end up creating a lot of fouls. And once you get yourself into foul trouble, you can't get yourself out, and that's what Kindenberg did. She was very aggressive to start it off, and rightfully so, ready for this first game. And then she got herself into foul trouble early, and tough to stay out of foul trouble.
Hornets moving the ball. Kind of been the story tonight. They're moving around the arc. Not much penetration on the inside. Dawson, no good on the 3. Tries to follow her shot. Curry's going to get rid of it. Dawson comes up with it. She'll be fouled by Kuster. Underneath, she'll be shooting 2. Chance to tie and bring the Hornets to a lead with 1:46 left in this ball game.
Dawson at the free throw line, and these shots are huge. First shot is up, and it's through. And that ties the ball game. Next shot, chance to give them the lead. Shot is up and off the back of the rim. And shot won't count as a player jumped into the paint just a little bit early. So change of possession here. Cardinals take over.
Ball game is tied. Pressure from the Hornets. Dawson doing a great job up top so far. And that's a great hands by Ranzow. Jump ball, possession arrow stays with the Cardinals. But great defense right there from the Hornets. That's Kuster over for 3, off the mark, and rebounded by Mays. Dawson, good hands, knocks it out of bounds. Stop the clock. Almost looked like it went off the ankle of Mays, but it's going to stay with Conway Springs. Kuster going to be passing it in. Dawson with great on-ball defense. Goes up as Kuster. She'll make the layup. Looks like Hornets almost could have taken a charge there. She would have maybe sold it a little bit. But we're under a minute to play. A 2-point ball game. A timeout called by Coach Trent Preheim. A full timeout. So we'll be back. Stay on Hornet Studios for this exciting finish. All right, with under a minute to go, we got both these two teams playing hard right now. On the floor for the Hornets will be Needens, Dawson, Britton, Ranzow, and Wolf. I'd expect a set play right here just to get an open shot for the Hornets. That's Ranzow driving inside. Strong play from the Hornets. No good on the three by Dawson. She's going to fight for her own rebound. Ball's on the ground. Needens picks it up inside. No good on the layup. And Dawson will be fouled with 6 seconds left. Crazy sequence there. It's an exciting game right now. Dawson at the line. She'll be shooting 2. That's a timeout called by the Cardinals. So we've seen a lot of good things from this team, Caleb. You know, even if they don't pull this out, this is exciting to see the growth from this team from last year. What are you expecting going through Coach Preheim's mind right now? What do you think he's gonna want to do after these free throw attempts in case Dawson doesn't make them? What do you do?
Definitely they continue that hard press that they've had playing defensively in the past, and you want to rely on Dawson as a shooter, but you have to have a backup plan here. They're going to go tight, man-to-man press. They're going to double team anybody who has the ball in that backcourt, and that's just a given this late in the game being down. And these are 2 huge shots. Good call by the coach to ice Dawson, possibly. First shot is up and off the mark. And a tough shot there, but looks to get him within 1. Shot is up. No good. And looks to grab her own board. She was over the line before the ball hit the rim, so it'll be a turnover.
That was a very late call by that ref. If he saw it sooner, he should have called it, but that's fine. Defense by Dawson. Gets it over to Kuster. And she's just trying to get that ball. Hornets have to foul, and they will foul Mays. That's Ranzow's 3rd personal, but 22.6 seconds left. A timeout called by Trent Preheim. He's going to talk things over with this team, especially since they are down 2 with 22.6 seconds left. We'll be back in 30 seconds.
And we're back here at Hornet Studios. 22.6 seconds show here on the clock. 38-36, and we'll see Lauren May, number 11 for the Cardinals, go up to the line for 2 shots, and a smart defense there. Rather than fouling Kuster, who's been on fire from every place on the floor, they fouled May, who has yet to take a shot tonight. Excuse me, it will be a inbound here. Down there, and Needens on the defense, May up top, and a foul there.
Well, one thing is, before that foul, the Hornets only had 6 fouls. They weren't going to the line shooting, but now it's a 1-and-1, so the Hornets have an opportunity with a missed shot, and they can, get the ball back in. And that's 14. Wolf checking in for number 20, Needens. 18.1 seconds left, crunch time. May's first is up and good. So it'll be a 2-possession game if she makes this free throw, 1-possession game. If she doesn't, I would expect the Hornets try to make a 2 if they can, a quick 2-pointer if she makes it. She misses. Dawson's got to push it down the floor. You don't want a 3 right now unless you have an open one. and that's a 3 for Wolf. No good. She hit a couple on the night, and that might be ball game as Kuster is going to the line. She'll be shooting. Wolf pretty upset with that shot, but you know, she's had a great night tonight. She can't be too mad, can't take it on herself. She has hit 4 threes, and we'll have a timeout called by the Hornets. Final timeout, and stay tuned because this could become an epic comeback. So it's going to be Kuster at the line for the Cardinals. She's kind of been a big part of tonight's win. Or, excuse me, not win, but game. But that could have sealed it right there, as she makes 1 free throw, and this game will most likely be over. And it goes through. So 5 points with 2 seconds left. Dawson's gonna not make the shot. Almost identical score to last year. 40-35 was it last year, and now it's 41-36. Your Hornets lose their first game of the season. But Caleb, we saw a lot of improvement from last season. You know, maybe not on the offensive end, but on the defensive end especially. They played great high-intensity ball. That's going to be exciting to watch going through the year. What's your one takeaway from tonight?
Well, I think I saw a lot of really great things from this basketball team, and they've definitely improved a lot from last year. And the defensive intensity everywhere on the court, they're much more intense. They give more effort every single play, and it's pretty obvious to see. And I think the one thing that really shut them down today was Kara Kuster, as you said. She had 29 of the points for this team, 29 of the 41 points for this team, and that's just insane numbers. And so just shutting her down would have completely changed the course of the game. But this offense clearly developed quite a bit. They have a lot more movement and a lot more skill, a lot more shooting potential. And I'm really interested to see how they'll do tomorrow versus Sterling after a heartbreaking loss. And they definitely want to make up for that. And they have a good chance to do so against Sterling tomorrow. And just about 15 minutes away from the men's game, I'm Caleb Rose, joined alongside by Austin Coash, and we'll see you for the start of the men's game.